The following is a revisited Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Dual, the Big D2, and this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, I now bring to you the second part of my revisited series of the Archie's franchise from Filmation. As you might recall from the last show, I recently talked about the Archie show, the show that started it all. Anyway, now I'm going to give you a little bit about what came before and long after the series I'm actually going to focus on. Now, I'm sorry I can't find much of any of the first series I'll be talking about. First off, I'll be talking about the Archie Comedy Hour, which debuted in '69, the year after its predecessor. CBS, of course, aired this, and it was an hour long featuring, well, some fun stuff with the Archie gang in Riverdale. Plus, the new member of this here series, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I'll be revisiting her show later on this year, so I'm gonna keep it separate. Now, of course, the show had two Sabrina segments, one at the start of the show and one at the end. Right in between it was a new segment called the Funhouse, which would be an actual lead-in to the show I'll be talking about next. A joke segment, which was in the middle of the series, based loosely on the hit show of Rowan Martin's Laugh-In. It contained such things as Sabrina's magic trick and Dilton Doiley's inventions, and contains a sideshow segment of one-liner jokes that was similar to the Quickie segment on Laugh-In, and then an Archie music segment, old and new. So now you can see that lasted for the next year. After that, went separate ways, as Sabrina's show was now teamed with her cousin's new show, the Groovy Ghoulies, the following year. But, however, the Archie gang, got a new series and a new version of the Funhouse segment. And it was Archie's Funhouse, which debuted in September of the following year. Each episode featured actually when it well, let me start over. When the show first started, it had a big fun-filled look at it. Now the show featured the Amy Archie shown on stage in front of a group of real live kids and their parents at the Filmation studio. And the show was similar to the Funhouse segment from the previous series, as reruns of that was shown in reruns of this show. Anyway, now each episode of Archie's Funhouse is absolutely very funny and what have you, and kept the feel of the Funhouse segment from the previous series. Anyway, now the show has some zany, fun-filled skits along the way that they do, and then there's other segments that are shown in there, but they're much more different than what we saw in the previous series. Now, in one thing, in place of the sideshow was actually Thunderbolt Theater with quick, drippy gags, which that'll make you laugh your head off. In some oh dear, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Actually, in some episodes of the series during Thunderbolt Theater, we actually did see one of the kids in the audience making a real funny face as that will really make you laugh your head off. Seriously. And I liked that. That was really funny. And another statement featured this an even bigger debut, but she was in the previous series, I'm sure of it. Big Ethel, who's always after her supposed boyfriend, Jughead Jones. Her segments are always having her use some kind of contraption, again, similar to that of the Roadrunner cartoons. So she was like Wile E. Coyote going after Jughead, who was the Roadrunner. But as always, her little contraptions always backfire every time. Now there's also fun-filled story segments and even a little sporting segment with Coach Cleats. Also, at the very end, we would be introduced to the star of the show, the giant jukebox, where we would have 3 songs per episode. Now, sometimes, an episode after the last one might have the same song, but however, they have a different video to accomplish. To go with to accompany it. Well, you get the point, okay? I am getting too tongue-tied here. Still, I actually do like some of the songs you'll hear on there. Most of the songs actually come from the Archie's Sunshine album. Now, among some of the songs that were featured in there include the title track, Comes the Sun, and Mr. Factory, which that song is a song about pollution. And that's a really good song. The other songs are good too, plus lots of other fun songs. Some that might have come from their other album, which reminds me, I did make a slight error in my Archie Show Revisited video. I made an error that Sugar Sugar kind of was out right at the time the show started. That was an error. That actually didn't come out till the Archie Comedy Hour started in '69. So I humbly apologize for that, as that song was included on the band's second album, Everything's Archie, which of course included some other good songs. But anyway, I haven't heard any of the Archie's album, but I do know of the songs though. Whew, now that's out of the way. Now, of course, the show features the same voice acting cast as before. Now, even so, I found the Archie's Funhouse show to be absolutely funny. Now, let me reverse back to the Funhouse segment from the Archie Comedy Hour. Now, that features some pretty fun segments. Another fun thing that was included in that show on the Archie Comedy Hour was some adventures with Lil Archie. Yes, I almost forgot to point that out as well. But now you know about that too. But anyway, now also before each giant jukebox number, there would also be jukebox jokes and what have you, which are absolutely really funny and what have you. We always see the giant jukebox records from side to side, stand up records that say ho ho. Yeah, we hear a little horn coming out from the top, or 3 trombones coming out from right at the kind of this thing where the glass is and what have you. Well, it's absolutely very funny and what have you. This was one of the first Archie shows to actually feature some music like what we would hear in later Filmation shows. And that, of course, easily makes the Archie's Funhouse show from 1970 one of my favorites. But I still like the Archie show from 1968. It's the one that started out, and it's a real good one. Still, I must admit that the show would prove it to be a fun-filled experience. Please stand by. I'll give you a look and what have you. Sorry to pick so small, but I had to give it to you really big time. Here's a shot of the Archies, anime on stage. Right across from them is a group of live-action people. So now you see what Archie's Funhouse starts out. This is what you'd see in the opening credits to the show. Well, of course, they also show at the end because most Filmation shows do have the opening at the ending too. So now you know about that as well. But anyway, this show is just so much fun and what have you. Okay, there is one more thing I could show you. Sorry, this is as best quality I can give to you. This is a look at the band performing a silhouette, and there's the giant jukebox. And here's a look at what the Funhouse actually looked like in the Archie Comedy Hour. Now, a few things were removed, but this is what it originally looked like. Oh yeah, there was one more thing. I almost forgot. There was one other fun segment on the Archie's Funhouse series as well, and that, of course, was Bay's diary. Yeah, Bay writes in her diary in some episodes, and we can see some really funny bits of once we see what she's, here's what she's writing about, and then we see a funny little skit that involves what she says in a funny way. Seriously, that part's really funny too. I like that. So anyway, this is a fun show. The Archie's Funhouse is really good. You can actually find it on physical media. I think it's available for a decent price and what have you. If you can't find it, then no problem. The series is currently available to stream here on YouTube, which I will go ahead and say it. So I just hope for the best. I won't get in trouble with Classic Media and Universal DreamWorks Classic since DreamWorks bought out Classic Me and what have you, who owns most of Filmation's material. Now, I'm going to advance. Now, I will talk about the next two Archie shows in the next couple of videos, but I'm going to advance ahead over to 1977. Well, after their last series, the U.S. of Archie had ended. The gang came back in a bigger way, but this time on NBC as the new Archie and Sabrina Hour. It was the seventh series and what have you, which include rebroadcasting segments from the Archie show as well as new segments with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Each episode featured 3 segments per episode, a 15-minute one and a half-hour one, and another 15-minute one, with the segments separated by songs 2 per episode, and the first segment invariably featuring and emphasizing Sabrina. They added 2 new characters and what have you that included Q, a robot Dilton created, and a Latino teenager named Carlos. Now, of course, this came out right about the time when the character only made a few appearances in the comic, beginning with Life with Archie number 179 in that year of 1977. And Q was the studio's nod to Star Wars. At the time, robots were starting to appear everywhere, even on primetime shows. Which, of course, Star Wars was recently a hit that year. And, of course, that was the same year when we got robots in other Filmation shows like Peepo in the live-action Space Academy and Mo in Space Sentinels, which, of course, started as the Young Sentinels. Now, later on, the show got shelved by September, and then soon the show was retooled, then divided into separate 30-minute shows. The Bang Shangri-La Palooza show, featuring Archie's gang solving mysteries around Riverdale. Yeah, pre-Archie's Weird Mysteries. And Super Witch, which features Sabrina solving mysteries using her powers. And featured 1 song per episode, but the ratings weren't doing so hot. And thus that ended Archie and Filmation's partnership. Now, although they did want the Archie gang back for Hero High, but unfortunately that got scrapped and just got new characters for the Kid Superpower Hour, which is in. Now, the new segments from the show are we're done. Well, we're till into one thing called the Archie and Sabrina Surprise Package by Classic Media's former, parent company, Entertainment Rights. Now, some of this was released on physical media, but only a couple were released in the 1980s, but in syndication versions. Now, in 2009, the series was released in Australia and New Zealand, but it'd be tough to find it here in the US. But nevertheless, all shows still had the same voice acting cast as before, with Dallas McKinnon once again voicing Archie, as well as Mr. Werribee, Pop Tate, Coach Cleats, and others. Ron Dante does Archie's singing voice. Forgot to mention that. While Tony Wine does Bay and Veronica's singing voices, and Jane Webb once again voices Bay and Veronica, as well as Big Ethel and Miss Grundy. Howard Morris once again voices Jughead, Dilton, and Moose, who's still nutty as always. And finally, the late great John Irwin, who of course we sadly lost before last year was over with, once again voices Reggie. So anyway, now you know about Archie's Funhouse, what came before that, and what came long after that. I think there should be an episode of it, that a particular episode of that Archie-Sabrina surprise package available somewhere so to stream. So be on the lookout for that. So that's going to do it for this revisit Saturday Morning TVLog. I would recommend you check out the Archie's Funhouse series. You will definitely love it. So what did you think of it? Have you seen either of these series, or have you just seen the Archie's Funhouse series alone? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow, make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Get them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you'd like. And join me later tonight when I review That's My Boy. So if you like this, check out the Saturday Morning TVLogs for these other fun-filled musical shows Filmation gave us. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog on Mission Magic. The upper right-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog on Falber and the Cosmic Kids. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see the one that started all in my revisited version of the Archie show I did last week. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TVLog. Then I'm your guy. Next week, a revisit of Archie's TV funnies. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.